We're here outside the stadium where the Philadelphia Eagles won their way into the Super Bowl. Right along with the players and the coaches is the chaplain of the team, and that's Pastor Ted Winsley of the Family Church in New Jersey. Pastor, thanks so much for being with us.
My honor.
You have been chaplain with the Philadelphia Eagles for 23 years.
Yes, ma'am.
That's an honor.
It is.
Tell us about your role.
Yeah. So as the chaplain for the Eagles, I'm really kind of like a pastor for the team. My wife and I also, she helps me. She actually does everything she mirrors what I do with the wives and the girlfriends. On Wednesday nights, we actually do Bible studies here at the facility with the players. Saturday morning, I do a Bible study with the coaches. And then on Saturday evening, I do a chapel service where the entire team, coaches, players, administration, if they want to, come together.
What type of difference are you making with the players, with the coaches?
I really believe that faith matters, especially not only in a crazy world, but in a sport or a profession that's almost like a gladiator sport. I believe that faith and it grounds the players. It enables them to realize, even all their life they might felt like that they were born to do this. It helps them to realize that this is a platform and it's not a purpose, because a purpose lasts for longer than just a season. And so I really believe that faith grounds them. It enables them to be able to navigate some parts of this profession that could feel like it's not real. It enables them to be able to not get caught up and to be able to fulfill their purpose during this season.
And how have you led them to God?
Yeah. Through the Word. I have an amazing opportunity. I'm not in there doing lectures. I'm ministering the gospel. So I have an opportunity to kind of walk them through the Word of God, to allow them to discover their relationship with God. Players have gotten born again in Bible studies. Coaches have given their lives to Christ in Bible studies here on the grounds of the facility.
And we were talking earlier, you have established really good relationships. We're talking marriages, different things like that. Share with us.
Over the 23 seasons, I think I've done about 7 weddings. I'm the godfather of 2 children, not mine, but theirs. And again, just lifelong relationships that we still have today. The average NFL player, people don't realize it, is 3 years. The average, is above average, but the average player only plays this sport for 3 years. So there's a whole lot of turnover. That's also something that could be sometimes a challenge, because right when you get to know a player, sometimes they go to another team. So
they have so much pressure on them. Every Sunday they have thousands of people who come to the stadium, millions watching on TV. How do you guide them through this time?
Your question just reminds me of even one of the things that we shared in Bible study. Even Carson, if y'all remember Carson Wentz, he was always reminded, and he always would say to us that, hey, we're playing for an audience of 1. And so I believe, again, that's what faith does. Faith puts it into the proper context and the perspective that realizing, we're doing all of this, but we're really not doing it for the fans. Like, I'm glad that they're getting it, but we're really doing this for God. And God really is the one that set this up and who wants to have the glory out of this. So that really is kind of the larger message.
Okay, Pastor, we need to take a break, but we have a lot more coming up. We need to talk to you about the big game coming up on Sunday. So that is going to come up next. And stay with us. We will be right back. Welcome back. Joining us is Pastor Ted Winsley, the chaplain for the Philadelphia Eagles. The big game is Sunday. How do you prepare the coaches, the players?
Well, I think you were asking me earlier, like what is the biggest thing, and it's distractions. I think that's also why even it's been 2 weeks before the game, they wait a week before they go out there because it's chaos, So one of the biggest things I'm helping the players, kind of even reminding them, one of the things that they say all the time, Jalen Hurts says this all the time, Nick Sirianni says this all the time. He says, we got to keep the main thing the main thing. And so just really, helping them to do that, to realize, again, we got one more game, one more game to win. And let's not now do something new. Let's focus on what got us here, and that's being a team, being unified. And then also what happens, during this time is their families, each player gets, tickets, and everybody, mom and dad wants to come. And so they allow kind of that first week for the players to focus on your family. And then now let's get back to football. Let's get back to focusing on what got us here. And that's our faith for those that believe, and being unified as one.
Now, will you see them before the Super Bowl?
Yes. So that's one of the reasons why. So the team is bringing me down there for the sole purpose to keep the continuity of their schedule. So they're used to, before we have a game, we have Bible study. Before we have a game, we have chapel. So I believe on Friday, I'm going to do Bible studies with the players. Saturday morning, I'm going to do Bible study with the coaches. And then Saturday night, we have chapel.
And then you will be there for the game.
And then I'm going to sit in the seat.
And cheer them on.
And cheer them on, yes.
So we know one team will win,
Mm-hmm.
one team will lose.
Yes.
How do you prepare them for the outcome?
Yeah, I think, Jesus said it best. He said, in this life, you'll have tribulation. But then he didn't stop. He said, but be of good cheer because I've overcome the world. And so, again, just winning and losing is part of life. I've been doing this for 23 seasons. This is my 4th Super Bowl. We lost the first one. We won the second one. We lost the third one. And we're going to win the 4th. So, but it is real. Like I remember, comes to mind when we lost in 2005. One of the players didn't leave his house for 2 weeks. Like, that's real. And so even just help reminding them about what grounds us, and that this is, I know this is a big part of your life, but it's not your life, and that how God gets the glory in both, and to be able to carry themselves in such a way that God gets the glory even if we lose, because we didn't lose.
Right. What type of difference do you hope you're having with these players and the coaches?
I believe an eternal one. Again, that really is the major focus. Some players come to the Bible studies or the chapel service because they want a lucky rabbit, lucky rabbit's foot. They're looking for something to help them with the edge of their game. God don't care. Come on in here. You can think this is a lucky rabbit's foot if you want. We're believing that souls are going to be saved, that people's hearts will be turned to the kingdom of heaven. So I believe it's having an eternal impact.
Pastor, thank you so much for spending the time with us.
Absolutely.
And have a wonderful time at the big game.
Go Birds!